Attention Bears fans. One of the most explosive names on Chicago's defense played the entire last season injured, and no one realized it until now. What seemed like just a slight drop in production hit a much more serious situation. Meanwhile, an unusual public appearance by a rival star at Wrigley Field is igniting NFL backroom discussions and fueling heavy speculation about a potential blockbuster trade. Bears fans, get ready. What comes next could completely change expectations for 2025. Welcome. Show your support for the Bears by reaching 100 likes on today's video. Montez Sweat was the standout name on the Bears defense in 2023. When he arrived from Washington, he fit perfectly into the scheme and brought instant pressure that Chicago hadn't seen in years. In just 9 games, he recorded 6 sacks, 14 QB hits, and made an impact that earned him his first Pro Bowl selection. But what few realized, until now, is that the same player who dazzled at the end of 2023 suffered in silence throughout the entire 2024 season. Sweat finished last season with 5.5 sacks in 16 games, a decent number, but below the expectations set by his debut. According to Jeff Hughes from Bears blog, one of the most well-connected sources in Chicago's backroom, Montez played 2024 dealing with a series of injuries: ankle pain, shin contusions, a compromised toe, and all of this without even being sidelined for more than a week. The only absence came in Week 9 against the Cardinals. Other than that, he was on the field even when he wasn't at 100%. This revelation completely changes the way the performance of the Bears defense should be analyzed last year. Even while injured, Sweat was the technical and emotional leader of the defensive line. Now, the big question is, will he be able to fully recover for 2025? Because the franchise's plan to pressure quarterbacks and dominate the trenches revolves around him. The new defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, brought in with the mission of giving identity to the front seven, is implementing a more aggressive and flexible system. And for this plan to work, the left pillar is Sweat, while the right side will be anchored by newly signed Dayo Odeyingbo, formerly of the Colts. This duo has the potential to be one of the best in the NFC, if they stay healthy. And that "if" is more significant than it seems. The concern about Montez Sweat is not unfounded. Since his time in Washington, he has never had completely clean seasons in the medical department. In 2021, he missed 5 games due to a jaw fracture. In 2023, even while performing well, he arrived in Chicago with a history of a toe injury. Now the problems are piling up, and even though he is known for his resilience and toughness, in fact, he plays through pain like few others, the physical issue could become a structural problem. In the backrooms of Halas Hall, the official talk is one of optimism. Sweat continues to be treated as a definitive starter and reference for the defense. But if he's not 100%, the rotation suffers. Austin Booker, a 5th-round pick in 2024, is still very raw. Dominique Robinson and Jamri Croma are inconsistent. Daniel Hardy and Jeremy Robinson complete a group that, without its main name at its peak, loses punch. The good news is that the core of the defensive line has been robustly reinforced. The arrival of experienced and dominant Grady Jarrett, combined with rookie Shamar Turner and the return of Andrew Billings, brings hope that the interior can sustain more pressure. But without dominant edge rushers, the defense loses depth and impact. Montez Sweat is the engine of this defense. If he is at peak physical condition, Chicago can dream of a top 10 unit in the league. If the pain returns, the Bears will bleed in critical moments, especially against potent offenses like the Lions, Eagles, and 49ers. And for those who think these details only matter in January, remember, the Bears' 2024 season began to crumble when the pass rush vanished between weeks 10 and 14. And guess who was on the injury report every week during that period? Exactly, Montez Sweat. Now fans, get ready. The next news could involve a league star changing teams. And yes, the destination could be Chicago. Alvin Kamara, Saints running back and one of the most respected names in the NFL over the past 10 years, appeared in Chicago to throw the first pitch at a Cubs game. And it took just a few seconds for the rumors to explode. The casual gesture became fuel for a theory that has been gaining traction. Kamara to the Bears in 2025. The speculation makes sense. Kamara is the type of player that fits perfectly into Ben Johnson's new offensive system. The new head coach is implementing an offense that requires versatility, intelligence, and the ability to generate yards after the catch. Three qualities that Kamara has in abundance. With over 85 touchdowns and nearly 12,000 scrimmage yards since entering the league, number 41 has been a production machine, even in unstable years like 2023 and 2024. And the contractual situation also raises alarms. Kamara renewed with the Saints through 2026 for $23.5 million, but the cap hit in 2026 reaches an absurd $18.6 million. For a 29-year-old running back who already has physical wear and injuries on his resume, that number carries a lot of weight. In other words, the Saints may be more open than ever to trading him, and the Bears emerge as one of the few teams with cap flexibility and a clear need in the backfield. In fact, Chicago has done virtually nothing to strengthen the position. They drafted Kyle Monangai in the 7th round, a low-cost gamble, and continue with an inconsistent group. DeAndre Swift has flashes but isn't reliable in short yardage situations. Khalil Herbert has lost ground, and Rashawn Johnson hasn't yet turned the corner. Kamara would undoubtedly be an immediate impact addition, especially if used as a receiver in creative formations, something Johnson has shown as a priority in training camp. The biggest hurdle, of course, would be the cost of the trade. The Saints, even considering the cap relief, are not likely to accept just anything. Talk is of a mid-round pick or even a direct trade for DeAndre Swift. The question is it worth it? It depends on the franchise's ambition. If the Bears truly believe they can compete in 2025, adding Kamara would be a bold but coherent step. He would bring experience, a constant threat on all three downs, and immediate respect from opposing defenses. But if the plan is medium-term development, heavily investing in a veteran RB could backfire. Moreover, we cannot ignore the durability factor. Kamara struggled with muscle injuries in 2022 and 2023, and running backs over 28 historically enter a decline. The risk exists, but the chance for impact does too. The final detail: Kamara did not come to Chicago by chance. His visit was promoted by MLB marketing, but he appeared with people connected to the Bears player staff and maintained complete silence about the possibility of a trade. For those following NFL backroom discussions, this kind of silence speaks volumes. Chicago has two clear dilemmas for 2025: keeping its defensive star healthy and deciding whether to compete now or build for the future. Montez Sweat needs to be 100%. There's no margin for him to play through pain again. On offense, bringing in Alvin Kamara could elevate Ben Johnson's system to another level, but this will come with a high cost and inherent risk. Bears fans are at a crossroads that will define the immediate future of the franchise. And now I want to hear from you. Should the Bears go all in for Alvin Kamara or stay focused on young talent and financial flexibility? Leave your opinion in the comments, like the video if you enjoyed the analysis, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on the Bears during this tense offseason.